Hello everyone, it's Matt here, and in front of you is the output of the 4DBrix Kickstarter modular track project, or modular turnout project I should say. And this is most of what I ordered via the sort of backing program, so obviously you could bracket different levels to get different amount of modules. And I also added a little extra, so there's another couple of pieces in here, such as the Monorail track, which you can add as an additional piece, because you could also order some additional pieces we order to cheapen the postage, for example. Now what we have here is we have a variety of things. We have some of the new bumper tracks which have a cross axle end of them, so these clip into standard track, and then you can build a buffer stop around them, etc., which will possibly come in useful for those of you building yards. And because it's modular, there's different bits for different things. So for example, if you wanted one of the double crossovers which were introduced for power functions, something like 7998 I think it was the part number, or something like that in terms of the set, you can actually build that with this. So there's two of those, so those actually snap together and then you can fit the turnout bases to fit those. You can make a regular switch, so these will enable you to create yard leads, crossovers, and a few other bits and pieces where you might need that shorter turnout space. And to go with those, we have these adapter pieces, and these actually convert the track into sort of the regular sort of like Lego format in terms of the dimensions and scaling and geometrics, so that it will actually turn back into a parallel track if you just fitted one of those, and then a standard R40 radius curved piece of track. These are the point lever bases and the levers themselves. These are, like everything you've seen from you, 3D printed, and it's a really nice idea. These aren't the same sort of size and sort of like shape of the Lego turnouts levers, but they're very similar, and again they're yellow, so I'll do a bit of testing with them and see what my thoughts are. In the top right here we have the right hand turnout base and the left hand turnout base, and I say turnout base because everything from these turnouts, so these are actually one left and one right, and these crossovers pieces all require or will require one or more of those two bits. So there's three right hand there and three left hand, and we require those to actually create the turnout. And these are actually the quite good reusable bits, because you can use these with any of this. So for example, if you wanted some yard leads one day and then you wanted a full crossover, you could actually do that. You could just unlike with Lego turns, you can just unsnap them from one, snap them into the other. And from what I've had as a little like trial test, when I actually opened these at the first time, these do actually snap together quite well. However, there is one little bit on one of the points, and it's actually to do with the sort of like moving bar, or the tow bar, I think it's called, or something like that. And one of the little nubs actually did sort of has come off slightly. So I'll be discussing that with 4DBrix in terms of the integrity and a few other bits as well. And I haven't mentioned the Monorail stuff yet, largely, and I have made reference to it. These are some pieces I ordered to fill out the order and actually finish off a few bits and pieces. So these are two of the same. So these are both the same pieces of track. It's just that one's the opposite way around because they're half curves. And these are actually used to get come out from a diagonal to a regular Lego base. And these are also used for the switch turnouts to make these into proper parallel tracks again. And the reason I've got these is because I have three turnouts. I did actually go and check my track stock. I have three turnouts, but only one piece of curve track, because these curve tracks are actually just as expensive as the points in some instances. But these 4DBrix ones, judging from their previous products, are really good, have a good Lego fit, and generally speaking look the part as well, especially at a distance. Obviously it looks a bit different closer up because it looks a bit more like poured concrete compared to the injection molded Lego version, but they're still 98% there, I would have said. It's just the aesthetics that don't tie up exactly. But I think the 4DBrix actually has a nice sort of that poured concrete aesthetic. Actually kind of works well for Monorail stuff. And I do believe these are some of the first that anybody in the world owns. And these are half length diagonals. And the reason why I have these is for a very simple reason, and that is stations. If you're trying to build a parallel station, the standard parallel size, if you use the turnouts and the stranded curve pieces, is barely wider than you'd get in the Monorail shuttle, for example. Whereas if you had some of these, you could actually expand the width of the platform in the island, so you can actually fit a stairwell in or a lift, and these will actually fit in really nicely with that, just to expand it enough. But because these are half length as well, if 4DBrix ever go down the route of making a Y monorail point, if they ever go down the route of making their own points, these are actually useful for that, for making a T-junction. So you can have 3 converging tracks, and these are actually going to make a complete one of those. But anyway, that's everything from the box. The only other thing were these sort of like flyery sort of pieces, and these are actually double-sided. So for example, these have bits for their track and their modular system there, so it's a really nice way to see what they offer. And an interesting point to note is that they offer their switch stand bases on either side of the point, so you can have it both inside and outside, depending on if you wanted to save a bit of space or if you wanted to motorise them, etc, etc. And they've got a wide variety of pieces as well. But I don't have any, but they also do bits to convert these are just for standard straight track diverging. They also do ones if you want to just create parallel tracks as well as an additional module. So I'll probably be getting those in the future as well as more bases for yard formations. They do a few other bits and pieces like half length straight track pieces, etc, just to blend everything together. We've also got their new sort of control system, which control up to 4 switches, motors, detectors, and here's their outputs. So you have standard track motors for the trains, servo motor for the monorail points and controls, such as the stop ones, the servo brackets for the points or the directional ones, so you can actually fit those in and motorise the turnouts and the stop tracks. Train sensors for train and monorail, so those will allow you to essentially automate some of the trains. And they've also got traffic lights as well, which just have 2 LEDs in and a little lead. And they sort of like the heads on the casing are actually a standard stud size but hollow, so the lights will come through obviously. So you can actually do those in just a red green or a red yellow or yellow green, for example, or something else, and it will just allow you to have a bit of modularity. So for example, if you wanted to change it into a space one and you wanted blue and red or blue and green or something like that, you can actually do that as well. And lastly, we have the bits for the monorail. So we have the cross switch there, diagonal track, half curves, ramp extensions, then straights, 4 size, half and quarter, and then train bases and the motor covers. So anyway, that was it from this little collection, from the order of the Kickstarter project. I'll be having a quick sort of go through these and analysing them, and you'll probably see another video within next week of me giving my further thoughts on them. But if they're to the same standards as other 4DBrix stuff, they'll be fantastic, and aside from 1 or 2 minor kinks, these all turn out to be a really good product. But anyway, that's all from now, and I'll see you in the next video.